Speaking of James McCann, prior to this season, our own Clement Townsend caught up with the young catcher who has a remarkable story of how God's faithfulness and his parents' obedience has led him to this point.
James McCann got his first taste of big league action in 2014 when the Tigers were right in the thick of the playoff race.
It's pretty special, especially making that debut in September, down the stretch. You're hunting for October. That's a special feeling.
And McCann has a feeling 2015 could be another special year for Detroit.
We have a very special lineup, a very special pitching staff, and the goal from day one's been to win the World Series. I think we definitely have a group that can do that.
Being a part of a World Series team would be a remarkable moment for McCann. However, what's even more remarkable is the fact that the California native is even alive. McCann's mother had a stillbirth just months before she was pregnant with him. And while carrying McCann, a complication occurred.
13 weeks into the pregnancy, my mom developed a hole in her amniotic sac, and the doctor said, I had a 1 in 4 chance of surviving, and if I did survive, it's pretty much guaranteed that I was going to be physically or mentally disabled. So they, told my parents their rights and advised an abortion, if you could say, just with their history. And my parents said, no, we're going to put our faith in God. And the first words that came out of my mom's mouth when I was born was, not bad for a 1 in 4 chance.
Throughout his life, the 24-year-old has placed his faith in God. His favorite verse is Mark 10:27. With men, it is impossible, but not with God, for with God, all things are possible.
From day one, the doctor said it was impossible. That's man telling my parents it was impossible, and obviously God had other plans. And growing up, people saying, hey, that dream, it's far-fetched. You're never going to make it to the show. No one, you know how hard it is to get there. But when you put your faith in God and you trust in God, he's got a bigger and better plan than anyone else could ever imagine.
And that plan led McCann to become a major league catcher. During his rookie season, McCann encountered a lot of temptations, but leaned on his teammates to keep his life on the right track.
Guys have more money than they know what to do with, so materialistic stuff, that's a temptation. Women, that's a temptation. But there's also guys in the clubhouse that set a good example and have Christ in their life. And I was very, very lucky to have Torrey Hunter, Don Kelly, Rajah Davis. Those guys that have been there, done that, and are setting an example. It's a tough thing to stay on the straight and narrow. God didn't say, He never once said it was going to be easy. But that's something I take pride in and want to set an example for not just my fellow teammates, but for that little boy in the stands that has dreams to be in my shoes one day.
And one day, McCann hopes to make a big impact, one that extends well beyond the field.
I want to establish myself for the future, a role in the big leagues. But at the end of the day, it's not the Tigers' plan, it's not my plan, it's God's plan. And whatever He has in store for me, I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to run with it and use the platform that He's given me to reach others and spread His love and His mercy and His grace.